Hi, good morning. I got some spare time this Sunday, so I decided to do an additional video, and this one is going to be about mod cleaning, which I think it's a very important topic because most of the work you'll be doing in terms of modding will probably be starting from a base mod and doing some changes, or at least you got to get a base mod to insert meshes, textures, and work out of it. You can also import features from one mod to the other one. So at some point you need to do some mod cleaning. Okay, it's something that I spoke in the past, and I will be talking more details as we go on with the tutorial today. I'll be making using of a few TMC tools. If you look at my DeviantArt page, there is this tutorial which I have put together listing the main mod tools which I recommend for anyone starting in modding this game. And some of these tools will be covered today in this tutorial, not in depth as I have covered in the tutorials I've written in Nexus mods, but it's a way for you to have a contact with these tools in a video instead of just reading about them. Okay, so if you have not read any of these tutorials about these tools, you can start from this video today, but I still recommend you to go back to these tutorials and have a look on them because there might be some information here which I will not be talking today. But let's go for the mod cleaning since I think this is an important topic which I should have covered before. Okay, I got this mod here from the internet, and this is going to be, it's for Rachel, and we'll be working with this one today. So first thing we got to do is open our object tool and open the mod there so we can have a look at the meshes for the mod. Okay, so once we have it in object tool, we can see that there are several object slots here which are not in use. They're not in use because the vertex count here is 0. Okay? So right out of the door, this is something that you can get rid of. You can just go and delete. But pay attention on something. I don't recommend you to delete everything which is 0 because think about if in the future you got to do a new mod and you want to use this one as a base for some reason, which you never know, you know. Maybe a mod came up and you want to do this mod and put together, start to bring meshes and textures from that mod to put together a new one. This mod could be a base mod which you could use. So if you get rid of everything, you'll be losing these object slots here which work with 3 and 2 textures. I don't know if it's possible once you delete to insert back. I never dig in depth this tool. Okay, every time you add a new object slot, it's going to be with the same amount of textures as the one that you have selected. For example, here, if I right click and add sub-object, it will be another one with 2 textures. Okay, if I come here and do add sub-object here, it's going to add one with 4 textures. I'm not sure if it's possible to change this from 4 textures to 2 or to 3. It's something that I never dig in about this tool. I don't know, so I don't know if there is a way. So if you're going to clean the mod, first thing I recommend you to do is do not zero everything. Okay, just come here and delete. Let's delete all these which are empty and have 4 textures. Okay, I will leave this one which has 3 textures just in case in the future it needs to be used, and I will also delete this one and leave one slot with 2 textures. So this is what I consider to start cleaning off the mod. Maybe other modders will say, no, you can get rid of this because bringing back this kind of slot with 2 textures, it's easy. It's not something difficult to do, but I never learned how to do. So in my case, when I work my mods, I leave these slots just in case I need to use them in the future. Okay. The next step I do is to basically come here and get another texture to make sure that they are not pointing to unused textures. Okay, so let's see, we have here texture 0, 13, 1, 2 being used. So as we can see, only this one is using texture 6, 7, and 8. And only this one is using textures 10 and 9. So if we change this one to texture 0, let's go all these textures to 0, okay? And this one to 0 too. Because we're not using these slots, so they can be pointing out to any texture you want. So now we make sure that only the textures which are in use are really in use, so to speak. Okay, we can save it at this point. We probably could delete these ones if you don't want to use these texture slots, because as you can see, you have here the ID 0, 1, 2, and this is related to the vertex groups 0, 1, 2. As you can see, vertex count on group 1 is 0, on group 2 is 0. That's because the only object slot for group 1 is this one and it's 0, and the only one for group 2 is this one and it's 0. That's why they are 0. If you come to a point that you just realize that no, I really don't need these ones and I can delete and can get rid of them to make sure that the mod is fully empty, okay, just delete them, and if they are still here, delete here and keep only what you want. Because as I said, if you're going to use this mod as a base for creating a new mod, one of the things that you usually can do is import object groups from the other mod. So let's say you have a skirt in the other mod and you want to bring to this mod, or if you have earrings and necklace and they are on a specific object group in the other mod, you can come here and say import. You select the other mod and choose the group to import, and the tool is going to bring the entire object group to this one with the bones, with the textures, with the meshes, with everything. Okay, so it's a quick way to start to put mods together, and I think I spoke about this in one of my previous tutorials. But the problem of putting a mod together by importing object groups is that sometimes the mod you are working on starts to get too big in terms of meshes, textures, and even object groups. So that's why it's important to do the cleaning in the beginning, okay? So you don't end up with a huge mod, which is going, of course you can clean later, but can start to give you problems to save in these tools. This can start to give you problems even to do some changes. I have experienced this kind of change in the past. So it's important to keep the mod clean in the process, okay? So I save it here. The job for now, it's done in Object 2. We'll be coming back to this one later. But for now it's ended. So I can save. And we go to the texture tool now. So once you get to the texture tool and open the mod, okay, we can see a few things here. Texture tool is going to show us which textures are not in use. So as you can see in this column use, any texture which has 0 means the texture is not in use. So basically you can get rid of these textures. So let's select them, click here, hold left shift, click, right click, and get rid of these textures, and they're gone. So the mod is clean, okay? One thing interesting that you can see from the texture tool is that it will show the resolution of the texture. So this is the body texture. You can see it's 1024 by 1024 pixels, and will show you the compression of the DDS file. Okay, this is important because if you start to extract textures and work them in GIMP or in Photoshop or in Paint.net, once you work these textures, you got to know what is the compression so you can export in the same one. This is important for you to avoid the texture growing too much. For instance, the textures which are DXT1, they don't have alpha channel on them. So they will be much smaller than the ones which have alpha channel, DXT 5 in this case. Okay, I'll show you in this process an interesting work on paint.net for this texture. But let's consider the job concluded for now on texture 2 and move to the next step. So we clear the textures, okay? You can close here. What's the next step? Next step is to get rid of the not used bones. And this is a little bit more complex, but I'll show you step by step how it's done. Okay? We'll be opening the mod on Photo Studio, and we'll be clicking this X checkbox so you can see the bones in the mod. As we can see, there are some bones here which are probably from a skirt. Okay? And if we open this mod in Blender, which in my case is already opened, we can go here to the armature, okay, and check the bone names. So as you can see, there are several bone names here, and most of the bones are for the body, of course, in this case, but there is a bone group here for the skirt. Okay. And these are the bones we want to get rid. It might not look like a big issue at this moment with this mod, but think about if at some reason you start to import object groups to this mod, at some point you have bones for skirts, for scarf, for other stuff, and I've seen mods getting really overloaded of bones at some point. And you got to get rid of the excess bones or the unused bones. I even seen bones in this area interfering with hair, and I was only able to solve the issue with the hair movement working in another way by removing the bones. So I'll show you now how you get rid of the not used bones. This is a tutorial, I've seen a written tutorial in a Japanese forum, if I'm not mistaken. So that's why I'm taking this time to put this on a video, because I don't think you'll find this anywhere. Although I've written in, I think I've written in Nexus in where I shared the bone tool, but now it's in video, so you can see how it's done step by step. Okay, so let's get back to the object tool. This is the first one we'll be working with. Opening the mod. And the process is simple. We click in the first one, hold left shift to select all the objects, and we right click and choose extract mesh data. It will bring us this window, and we got to click here file name, object name, and extract. Once you do this, if you go back to the folder which the mod is, you'll notice that a new folder will be there. In this case is this one. Okay, if you go to this folder, this is the data for all the meshes that you have in this mod. Okay, so we're saving this the data for these meshes here. Once the data is saved, we got to come here and choose right click again and delete all vertices and indices. This will bring the vertex count and index to count to 0. Okay. From what I have understood, this is important because we will not have vertex in this mod locking the bones, so the bones can be deleted. If you do not do this, there is no way you can delete the bones. Okay. So once I did this, we go now to the object group, right click, clean blend indices, and that's it. Once this is done, if you go back to the mod and open it in Photo Studio, you'll see only the bones. There are no meshes, there are no textures. Okay. Okay. Next step, we go back and we open the bone tool. This is the first time I'm using the bone tool in any tutorial, so I don't have a deep knowledge about this tool, so I'll be showing you what you got to do for this specific task. Okay, we'll be opening the mod here in Bone Tool, and once you open in this first tab, we can see all the bones, and as you can see, there are several for the skirt, which is not in use. But this is not the tab we will be working with. We will be coming to the physics tab. In the physics tab, we check this box and we see that is only the skirt. Physics tab is convenient because it will not be showing the body, for example, bones. So you have a cleaner view to work with. Sometimes the bones you want to delete will not be here. I've seen this in one or two mods that I worked with, and if it's not here, for sure they will be here. But it's a little bit more complicated for you to find them, because you have to scroll down, look, and of course you have to make sure that the bone you are deleting is the one you want to get rid. So in the physics tab, we right click and we have two options for delete. One delete and another one delete with bones. And we'll always want to delete with bones so we can get rid of the bones. Once this is done, we will be saving, and the mod is saved with all the bones. Okay? We can go back here, open it in Photo Studio, and the skirt bones are gone. You don't see them anymore. Okay? You might be able to export bones with this tool because you have an export button here. And I think you can also import. Has been a long time that I used this tool, so I'm trying to, bring things back from memory from what I did. So I could be just give you some information which is incomplete, but I do remember you can export. If you click export here, it's going to generate a TMC bone file, and I think you can import. You just open the mod here, and the bone data you open here, and you click save as. But in any case, any work you do with the bone tool in terms of bones, you got to have the mod in this situation with no meshes or textures, so their material is not locked to objects, okay, and can be modified. Once you do this with the bone tool, we'll be coming back to another tool, which is the polygon insert tool. Okay, we'll open the polygon insert tool. Always remember to click insert into object of different vertex data. Open the mod. Okay, it's here. And we'll be adding the mesh data back, which is the one we have extracted. Okay. Select this data. We can leave this column as skip because all these object slots are empty, and we hit save, override. Close this one. And now we have the mod with all the meshes and textures back, and no bone skirt here. There is one additional comment which I can make. Let's say that you had, for example, a mod for Newton, and you just convert to another character with the character transformer tools. I think you probably bring the wings together, okay, to the other character. But you don't have to go through all this process to get rid of the wings in that case, because once you open the mod with object tool, you will see an object group for the wings, for Newton Goose wings and fans, the ones that she carries in her hands. You just have to open the mod in object tool, and instead of seeing just one object group, you'll be seeing another one wings, another one fans. You can click in the object group for the wings and for the fans, right click and choose delete object. That will delete the entire group, and it will pop up a window for you asking if you want to delete with bones. Let's say you got the mod from Nyotengu ported to Kazumi, and now you have the mod for Kazumi with wings. You don't want the wings. Just open the mod for Kazumi. In Object Tool, choose the object group for the wings, right click, delete object, and it's going to ask you, do you want to delete with bones? And you say yes. So it's going to delete the meshes for the wings, it's going to delete the texture for the wings, and it's going to delete the bones for the wings. This tool is very good for this kind of use. So you don't have to go through this cleaning process as I did here. Okay, but just in case if you have any trouble and need to clean a mod, this is the process that you do for cleaning the mod. Okay, and it's quite important if you are going to use a mod as a base for a new one, or start to import object groups to put a mod together. The next thing I'm going to show you to take advantage that I'm doing this video is to show you about the textures. Okay, if you look at this mod here, the texture weight in this mod is quite small. We're talking about a TMCL file of 4.3 megabyte. That's way far from what Rachel can support. You can have this file up to 10 megabytes easily with Rachel. So some things that you can do. You can replace some of her textures for higher resolution, just in case you want to have a better quality mod, so to speak. Okay, once it's cleaned. You have here the body texture, and you have the normal map for the body. Okay, normal map for the body is 512 resolution. So if I go to my game folder here, which is sorry for going all the way here, but I didn't actually prepare this one. But it's a good way for you to have a look how AutoLink is structured. So I have all my mods in AutoLink in different folders, because I want to have something that reminds me what kind of mod is under that custom. So if I have a vanilla custom for a dress, for example, I will put all the dress mods in that folder, so I know all the dresses are together. Okay. So if I go here, Rachel, and get a mod from her, let's see this one. Let's see how are the textures for the body here. Okay, I have a sweat texture of high resolution here. I can use this one. I'll hit extract. Let's see how is the normal map. Normal map is also high resolution, 1024. Okay, I can use this one. Okay. Dirty texture is a small resolution. It's 512. Okay, so not to be using this one. The dirty texture, they are usually low resolution. It's hard to find the high ones. But I got two textures for the body here which are high resolution. We can come back here to the texture tool, right click, swap, and I'll be getting the new normal map. And oh, the sweat texture is already 1024. Okay, let's save. So once I have placed the normal map texture by a higher resolution one, the mod size will increase. As you can see, we went from 4.3 to 5 megabytes. Okay, we still have some room for improvement. So let's say you think, okay, this mod could be a little bit better in terms of texture resolution, couldn't it? Yeah, maybe. For the boots, for the outfit. Okay, let's see how the textures are here. We have this one, 1024, DXT1, normal map here, and specular here. So let's get these three textures here. Save this one and these ones, which are the main one for the outfit. Now I'll show you a software which I have used for the remaster work that I did in my mods. It's this one called Video 2X. Quite interesting one. I've been, playing around with this software. It's free. There are some different versions in the internet, so you got to look around to try to find. I don't recall where I got this one with this graphical user interface, but makes easier for things to be used. And you can select the DDS format directly in it. Okay. I'll be picking up all these three. I think I can select three at a time, but I don't really recall how. So I'll be going one by one. So select the texture. You have a few options here in terms of the driver. I usually go with real, and I want to make it the double of the resolution that we have now, and we hit start. In some textures, this application is going to take quite some time to do the work. I've seen it taking up to 2 minutes to do this work. The application can also upscale video, but I don't recommend you to do so because unless you have a very strong computer and time. Okay? Because once I try to do with a video of 2 minutes, and realistically it would take a day in my computer. Okay? So I'm only using this tool for images. So as you can see, it took 35 seconds to double this texture. Let's get another one. We got to clear all. Get the second one. Start. And the interesting thing is that I usually select it to put an output directly on PNG format, so I can open directly in paint.net. And third one, yes, start. Okay, it's done. You can close this one out. And we have here 3 output files as PNG. I'll be opening with paint.net. I think I have updated my paint.net, could be in a different folder now. Let me open here. So it's not, I don't think it's linked, but you can open from here. All right. Okay, here we have the images. As you can see, 248, this one. Normal map went to 1024, and the specular 1024. These meshes, they don't have any transparency, and so I don't think they need alpha channel in this case. So I'll be exporting all the 3 textures as DXT1. Save as. Change here to DDS. And here on paint.net, you can choose DXT1 or DXT5 if it has alpha channel. In this case doesn't have. Okay, let's export the next one. Sorry for paint.net in Portuguese. I usually use my software in English, just to keep up. But I forgot to change this one. Save. DXT1, okay. Oh, DTS. Save. Okay. Okay, now we have. Let's see if I really have. Yes, 3 DTS output files. They are here. As you can see, once you upscale, they get to 2 megabyte, 500. 513 is not bad. Okay, so you can inject that back these ones to the mod. Just to be sure, I'll open the mod again, and let's replace, swap. This one too. Okay, save, alright. Okay. Going back to this folder here, I'm deleting all the textures, and here we are with the mod. It's still low if you think about 6.9. It's far from the maximum that we could go. We could go to 10 easily for Rachel. Rachel works with 10 megabyte in the TMCL file easily, but it's in terms of as exercise, it's what I had to show to you guys today. As you can see here in the size of the files, the TMC file is 736. That's because you don't have many meshes in this mod. More meshes, more bonds, this is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I've got mods in which this TMC file was around 4 meg, even 5 meg. Once I've cleaned it, got rid of the unused bonds, unused object groups, it dropped it. It dropped it to 2 megabytes, 2.5, something like that. Okay? And the TMCL, it's now 6.9. In the process of putting together a mod, sometimes this file gets up to 12 megabytes, 15 megabytes, and then you have to do a re-clean of the mod. You know, you got this mod as a base, started to add new meshes, new textures, import object groups from other mods, and the files start to grow. And at some point you look and say, okay, it's gonna get tough for this to load in Blender, it's gonna get tough for the tools to work with these files, so you do a cleaning. You get rid of the unused bonds, unused meshes, unused object groups, and bring it back down again, and keep working until you can have the mod done. I'm not sure if the result will be so nice, but yeah, because the base texture, they were not fantastic, so to speak. So even though we have upscaled this texture to 2048, it still doesn't look fantastic. But the purpose was just to show you how what you can do actually with these tools, and how I did of the remaster work. The remaster work, if you look at my DeviantArt page, for all the remastered mods, it was done like this: selecting specific textures in the mod, upscaling them, bringing them to paint.net, exporting, injecting again in the mod with texture tool, and choosing, because sometimes you cannot upscale everything. Sometimes you upscale for the clothing, and you have like necklace with textures that you choose not to upscale because it's not going to benefit too much. I had mods which the texture for the shoes and for the outfit were separated, and I have decided to upscale only for the outfit and leave the shoes with lower resolution because they didn't have much detail, especially if they are darker shoes, black shoes. Upscaling black shoes to 2048 resolution doesn't bring any benefit. So it's important for you to choose which textures you are going to upscale to give the best impact, okay, on the mod. This mod, of course, needs some fixing on the nails here, which I show you guys how to do. But it was not the purpose of this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Have a look at the tutorials, ask questions if you have any, and of course, next one will have to be, sorry for saying it again, but the next one will have to be the one, light port from XPS to TMC. It's just that I didn't find yet the XPS model I wanted to work with. I found an interesting model from Soul Calibur 6, but when I opened that in Blender using the XPS import plugin, Man, the amount of meshes that I had here in the right, I think we're talking about 50 different meshes. That would be too much complicated because it would end up in a video of 3 hours probably. Show you how to select the proper meshes, clean everything, and put together the mod. Okay, and I want to do a light one because otherwise I will have to break into several different videos. So for now, that's what I have to show you guys. I hope this is another interesting tutorial which you take some benefit. And I got an interesting tool for editing video, which I will be using in this video. It's this one called Shortcut. It's free also. So I'll be editing this video in this tool to make the flow smoother and and cut, you know, some language issues that might have in my English. So it will probably be better once you watch the video. Let me know how it goes. But that's what I had for now. Have a good one, guys.